Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Muhammad Izzuddin, and this is another video assignment for creative writing. Okay, let's just get into it. The first topic is Introduction to Script Writing. When it comes to script crafting, there are many importance of storytelling in script writings. First is basic. The author suggests a simple storytelling exercise and how. Give a group 5 minutes to write a short story without dialogue or detailed description. Then they exchange the stories and read them aloud. This exercise helps us understand the basic element of good story like setting, characters, events, surprises, and themes. Okay, the second is scenes and sequence. In script for stage, radio, or screen, scenes change when there's a shift in time or place. Each scene should have at least one important event and many may have several. Okay. Third is beginnings. In this part, the paragraph are talking about how to set up a story in a way that keeps the audience engaged. The author says that every story has a beginning, middle, and the end, and you have to know everything you need to know before you start. Okay, fourth is the middle. The author is discussing the importance of understanding the structure and convention of a story before starting to write. They highlight the importance of having a clear beginning, middle, and end, and also introduce the concept of an inciting incident, which is the events that sets the story in motion. Okay, next, the ends. While the commonly taught structure of beginning, middle, and ends is a helpful starting point for writing a script, it is important to remember that this structure is not set in stone. A successful script should have clear and concise narrative arc. The sixth is dialogue. Dialogue is an important aspect of drama, but the most common fault in script is having too many words. It is important to start by identifying the main story event in each scene and then work on creating dialogue that fits the story and the characters. Okay, 7 is strange world, minimalism, and anti-narrative. There are common misunderstandings in the theater world that lots of dramas work without using narrative or with so little or of it that it doesn't signify. Ultimately, the purpose is to get the audience up to speed while maintaining the interest with highly conflicted, idiomatic dialogue that contains almost as much blocking and gainsaying per scene as a soap opera. In terms of strange world script, it is important for the main plot to arise from the strange condition of that world. Okay, next topic is the second topic is writing for stage. Writing for stage implies that you are writing words that will be spoken by actors and heard by an audience. If you are writing for actors, then actors are your vehicle, your instrument. So it is important that you have a lot of experience regarding theater itself, whether it is inside the play or outside. There are various ways that playwrights approach writing a play, and one of them are from the subject. The subject of the play is the material from which the play is formed. We can look at subjects in psychological terms or philosophy terms. The limitation of the stage are also the places where the stage is unique and transcendent. You can explore them alone because working with actors, directors, designers, and an audience is a necessary help and in the necessary step. The third topic is writing for radio. In radio drama, the absence of visual necessitates a strong reliance on words, making them crucial for conveying information and setting the scene. While radio drama shares similarities with theater and film, it is a unique medium that requires careful consideration of how information is conveyed to the audience. And here are some of the key points to keep in mind when writing for radio drama. First is clarity and description. Since the listeners can't see the visual, it is essential to provide clear descriptions of the setting, characters, and their actions through dialogues and sound effects. Use descriptive language that paints a vivid mental picture for the audience. Okay. Second is character identification. Clearly identify characters early in scenes and remind listener of their identities when necessary. This can be achieved through dialogue, character traits, and distinct voice. Third is sound effects and music. Sound effects and music can enhance the atmosphere and convey important information. Use them judiciously to complement the story, but avoid overusing them as too many sounds can be confusing. Movement and Fourth is movement and perspective. Consider the placement of characters in relation to the microphone. Describe their movements, their and perspective, so that listeners can visualize the scene. Use terms like approaching, going, and we go with to indicate character movement. Fifth is conflict and dialogue. Conflict is central to drama. Ensure that scenes include conflict, tension, and some form of dramatic interaction to engage the audience. Sixth is perspective change. If the scenes require a change in perspective, use clear cues in the dialogue or sound design to signal the transition. This can help listeners follow the narrative seamlessly. Okay. 7 is sound effects and emotion. Use sound effects creatively to convey emotion or add depth to the story. 8 is minimalist writing. In radio drama, less is often more. Avoid excessive exposition or unnecessary details. Trust the audience imagination to fill in the gaps. Okay, next is direct address. Consider when and how to use direct address, where characters speak their thoughts, or feelings directly to audience. This technique can be powerful when used effectively. Okay, 10 is end of scenes. Use techniques like cutting, fading, or cross-fading to signal the end of scene. Similar to film editing, these techniques can create dramatic effects and transition smoothly between scenes. So drama is an auditory medium that relies on the listener imagination. Effective writing and sound design can transport the audience to different places and immerse them in the story. Writing for radio requires a balance between descriptive language, compelling dialogue, and creative soundscapes to engage and captivate the audience. Okay, the fourth and the fifth topic is writing for television. Television. In this present day, one of the writing profession that's being looked by the media is script writing. And there are few concepts to understand in order to start script writing for television. The first is the television writing sample. There are few things they must able to do. First, they must able to sample the existing elements of the stories beforehand. Secondly, a series usually have those who are called the creator. And if you want to be a scriptwriter for the creator series, you must be able to follow the creator's ideas. Okay. Second is television series hallmarks. Hallmarks are the styles and uses of storytelling devices that are implemented on the series. One must understand what makes the story work and captivate its viewers. Third is the nut and bolts of script of writing the spec. In series, we have what we call an episode, a story within the main story of a series that built. And episodes of series based on the genre they are the 1 hour drama and the half-hour situation comedy. The 1 hour drama has the story premises that consist conflict source, central protagonist and antagonist, and the protagonist's goals. Okay, the structure of an episode include Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4, etc. All these acts are separated by act break because the advertisement programs. Next is the half-hour situation comedy. have the same structure, but it only utilizes two acts and the conflict is rather more ridiculous. Usage of humor in comedy must follow the antics of the show and know what things can make people laugh. Okay, next is American television versus British television. There are a few differences on television shows from American and British. For example, both of the country television uses television shows to captive viewers, so they don't change channels in order to generate more income. But America was extreme on this, you know. Then when half the television station where America has more national television while British has what they call independent television. Okay, the last topic is top writing for film. Film writing is an art form that requires disciplines and creativity to become a better writer. You should learn to watch films from a screenwriter's perspective and read as many screenplays as possible. The chapter outlines the steps you should follow when writing your screenplay. First is know your premises, research your genre and audience, write a logline and endings, flesh out your characters, write a synopsis, know your hero's journey, create a working diagram of your three-act structure, learn the proper screenplay format, and then write, rewrite, and polish your screenplay. And finally, the chapter emphasizes the importance of marketing your work by following the natural process of a screenplay. Okay, the first is the premise. The premise is the starting point, that the main idea of the story. It is what leads the audience to the main theme of your movie. Second is genre and audience. The genre refers to the type of story such as romantic comedy or an action adventure. And the audience refers to the group of people who are likely to enjoy and understand your story, like kids or adults. Next is a logline. The logline is one or two sentences summary of your entire screenplay, like a back of the book jacket description. Okay, next is character. To write exciting and well-rounded characters, you need to create a character who is fully developed inside and out. This means knowing how they look and act as well as what they think, feel, and why. Okay, next is synopsis. A synopsis is one-page description of your story, including the beginning, the middle, and the end. Your main character names should be fully capitalized. The first time they appear on the page, you should include the action and main themes in the synopsis. Next is diagram. Diagram is a visual representation of the three-act structure of screenplay. The three-act structure is a popular method of organizing a story and is divided into three parts. Act 1 is introduce the characters and set up the conflict. Act 2 is build the plot and adds tension to the story. And Act 3 resolve the conflict and conclude the story. Next is treatment. Treatment are critical steps to writing a screenplay. The treatment outlines the key elements of the story, including plot, characters, setting, and conflict. Okay, next is format. Formatting a screenplay entails using specific margins, spacing, and formatting styles to effectively convey the story and aid in reading. Next, and maybe the last one. Rewrite. When it comes to rewriting a screenplay, it is important to have a clear understanding of how to approach it. The key to writing is to be open to the process and focus on character development, dialogue, and the overall structure of the story. It is important to have a goal in mind and to make sure the story is presented in tip-top form. Okay, that's it from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.